Chapter 52. Dock, Saturday, September 26th, 2009, 10 p.m. Tonight I sit with my despondence. It's heavy, unwelcome, and completely unexpected. For 110 days I have journeyed in the footsteps of Sarah Good, doing my best to imitate the hardships and frustrations that she endured, knowing that mine could not possibly compare to hers, yet entering into this commitment with a full and pure heart. It was the great unknown. How could I possibly predict the physical pain, the drain of exhaustion and sleep deprivation, the devastation hundreds of little chiggers could wreak upon a body, the mental struggle, the boredom and monotony and flat-out debilitation? I didn't know my body would rebel and try to quit. I didn't know I would lose my tent, my hats, my computer functioning, and 100 other little things. I didn't know my heart would be warmed by complete strangers, and I certainly didn't know I would be in contact with people who left this earth long, long ago. Yet all of this has happened, and more, and I don't know how to speak of it in a way that can be heard. I can tell the story, I can put the words on paper, but I don't know how to convey the depth, the intensity, the absolute presence of people who weren't visible to the naked eye. In speaking to my son this evening about those whose spirit was with me earlier, I learned what it feels like to be confronted with a shield of skepticism. Worse than skepticism, it was outright denial and a dismissal of my mental health. My daughter said, "Well, those things were real to Dad," which was not much more of an acceptance. I realize what I'm asking. I'm asking for people to put aside rigidly held beliefs, to put aside the way they have learned to experience the world. I'm asking them to imagine an interface with another plane of existence, one that some people accept, some doubt, and some outright deny. I'm asking them to imagine this interface, to imagine awareness and involvement, to imagine communication, to imagine connection and understanding and love, to accept this permeable veil that occasionally allows wisdom and peace to flow into our world and be felt by those who are willing to suspend disbelief, if even for just a moment. I've learned to suspend disbelief. Mine was not disbelief in the happenings themselves, but a disbelief in my right to experience them. Why me? Who am I to receive such a privilege? I've learned to let this go, to accept that, yes, it can happen to me. It did happen to me. It is not my place to question this. It is simply my place to accept it with open arms and embrace it all. I've learned to walk when I'm too exhausted to lift my foot, rest when sleep is impossible due to noise and wet or cold, and to eat when I have no desire. I've learned tolerance for what is uncomfortable. I've learned goodness comes in amazingly diverse sizes and shapes and colors and belief systems. I've learned that we're here for distinct purposes, though we may not be able to discern the why of it, and that nothing in life is a coincidence. I've learned to trust, to have faith, and to open my heart so that grace and knowledge may enter. I can't make this choice for others. I can tempt them with the possibility. I can offer them an opportunity. I can lead them to these grace-filled waters, but only they can reach down and partake. If this lifetime of memories of Sarah's life, or Beverly's, or anyone's whom we hold so dear, were laid down to rest in the ground, the spirit would pass, and the body would eventually disappear. But if we were to take this lifetime of memories and cherish them in our hearts, passing them along to our children and our children's children, they would become part of us, and the spirit would truly never die. The seed of the fruit continues to nourish as long as the story is told. I'm left, therefore, with nothing but a story to tell, my own, a story full of humor, humanity, strain, growth, and otherworldliness. Hers a story rich with history and grit, a story of a woman who wouldn't bend, wouldn't concede, wouldn't walk away from her faith, but instead toward it. A story of a life not to be denied, a story of fortitude and strength and tenacity, A story that began in England over 190 years ago with the birth of a little baby girl who grew to be an amazing woman, the first woman to pull a handcart halfway across the continent and to enter the Salt Lake Valley, the brave, the faithful, and always beautiful Sarah Good Marshall.